Hey there everyone, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking action figure review. Today's figure is so long awaited. It is the Titanic Creations Gorgo. Oh my god, I am so happy this finally came in. Normally I show figures off in action figure haul videos and then I don't review them until after that's done and posted. But I could not wait on this gal. I had to do Gorgo immediately. Like, I just got home with her. And I was one of the first backers in the crowdfunding campaign. I was in, like, the first tier. I had to have this Gorgo. I've reviewed a Titanic Creations figure before. I did their... Was it the first release? It might have been the first release of Titanicus. Their ice kaiju that sunk the Titanic. Pretty cool. And they're going to be doing some Gorgo comics soon. I have all the Ditko Gorgo, but damn. And I'll be keeping this box as well. A lot of the wrapping on the box is kind of odd. Like, see how it goes in there? But this is just on one side. That's just so weird to me. Like it got half wrapped or something. But see, you get the Titanic Creations logo. Gorgo, the girl herself. See her with all her accessories in there. We got to like every tier on that Kickstarter. God. I'm so happy. But you can see this is a really cool box. I will be keeping it. It's got the big Gorgo Circus. You know, more just legal stuff on the bottom. Have a drink. Double dip a delicious. Titanic Creations, you can double dip in me anytime. We got some destruction on this side. Sorry about the border here. I actually don't really have a space for figure reviews these days. Wow. And then look at this on the back. Matt Frank original Gorgo art. He's the king of kaiju art these days, honestly. Like, there are other masters like Bob Eggleton, and Ditko was a kaiju master. Back in the day, I would still say he is. I think he's dead. That's why I said was. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Rest in peace, King. Anyway, it's magnificent. Big Ben, more like Big Sin. That didn't make sense, but this is really cool. Yeah, this box will be staying in my home. I don't keep boxes a lot, but it's really cool. And it looks like Gorgo can actually be placed back inside of it, like a lot of these accessories are. It looks like one of the planes is falling out in there. Yeah, see that? It's okay, though. It'll be fine. That just happens sometimes. But I'm very excited, so let's bust into Gorgo. And here she is out of package. It is the Mama Gorgo. And I'm pretty happy with her. I do have a couple complaints, but it's fine. I'll get to it during articulation, which I suppose we can start now. She's got a lot of good movement, actually. Her articulation's really good. She can look around a bunch. The jaw opens up pretty well, and if she's looking up, it opens up even farther. Very nice. You guys know I'm a big fan of jaw articulation. It's my favorite. She's got in and out on the arms, rotation on the elbow, as well as a single bend, rotation on the wrists, and they kind of want to go back and forth, but they don't super well. Let me just see if I can, there we go. They're just insanely tight on the wrists, on both wrists. On mine. I did heat her up, too. Well, I heated up the wrists. But most of her was pretty good. Like, you know, the torso's got a good joint. Oh, I missed the neck. Sorry about that. Her tail, magnificent. Look at that. Look at all those segments, dude. Be careful. You don't want to pop that tail out. But, dear Lord, that's a lot of articulation. Magnificent. Good job. You got in and out on the leggies, rotation knees. You gotta kind of line these joints up, right? Like you do with minifigures straight out of the box. You know, knees bend, but they're also tight. Not that tight, though. You just gotta move them a little. But mine have started to finally loosen. And then there's like forward and back and kind of ankle pivot, depending on how you turn the joint there, you know. The big issue with articulation for this guy is the toes. I'd almost rather have not had toe articulation. Well, foot articulation, I guess, because you could have her kind of standing back and it would be cool. But these just pop off. They're not deep enough to stay on. That's just a design flaw. They're just not deep enough to even stay in the feet. And a lot of these joints are too loose. Well, like these kind of balls that they have in the feet and on the wrists, these are all really tight. The rest are fine, but this is kind of not great, guys. It's both of them. It's just these pegs here, this articulation just isn't designed well. And yeah, Titanic Creations usually does figures that are basically statues with no real articulation. This is, I think, their first real shot at it. Like, they had plans for a real articulated Titanicus, which I think is still happening and honestly looks really cool. But don't do that again. The feet mechanism here is just bad. And I'm afraid that if she takes a tumble, I'm going to legit just lose her toes. Also, look how loose that is. But I mean, the paint apps are really good. She's painted gorgeously. She has her big old eyes there. Not too shabby. Quite nice, in fact. Me likey. Me likey a lot. Now let's continue onward. You know, you've got the kind of counter-shaded tummy. Pretty nice. I guess it's technically not counter-shading since she's bipedal, but look at the detail on her carapace. These osteoderms are magnificent. Like the webbed ears. I've always really liked Gorgo's design. Her big meaty claws and her webbed ears always stood out to me. And you know, I think that, she's kind of generic kaiju, admittedly, but I still like Gorgo. Very cool. Alright, well, that is it for the figure itself. You want to see some accessories? First up, Gorgo has this alternate head, and it took me a while. For the life of me, I could not figure out the difference. I was like, did they accidentally give me two of the same head? I couldn't figure it out, but I looked at them, and this one's A2, this is the one that was on her, and this is A1. So they are different, but they appear to be the same exact sculpt with the same articulation. But when you look at the eyes really, really closely, this one's got kind of a bright orangey hue in it, the A2, and the other one is just blank red. So I'm thinking maybe this is the glowing eyes head? Because I remember on Kickstarter they said there'd be like a glowing eyes head. I thought that meant it would light up. But it's just a very, very slightly different paint on the eyes. Also, more quality control issues. One eye is looking straight forward and the other is looking down. If both were looking down, I'd be like, oh, okay. That's fine. Wouldn't bother me at all. I'd even think it was interesting. I mean, she's a kaiju. She'd be looking down a lot. But that's just wonky. What is this, SH Monster Arts? I actually like this more than Monster Arts. So, I guess this is the glowy eye head. And then this, why would you even use this head? These eyes are very slightly different, but they are better, and nothing else is really different. Also, this one's wonky, so I'll just keep using this head. Okay, guys, don't say I never did anything for you. I did look it up, and these eyes apparently glow in the dark. Just looking at them, you wouldn't know. And I don't want to charge them up to test it, because I'm never going to use it anyway, and it's not going to show up on camera, because glow-in-the-dark stuff never does for me. So I guess these are glow-in-the-dark eyes. I misunderstood. That's my bad. I thought there'd be like a button and it'd light up. They're glow-in-the-dark. I misread. That's my fault. Continuing. We also get the baby Gorgo, which was unlocked first. I think this was the first unlocked accessory. Here he is with the mama. Not the mama. But yeah, you know, that's cute. He's just a little guy. If you have any like miniature tiny Godzilla figures, he could maybe be a full-sized Gorgo with those if you wanted. But it's a neat little guy, no articulation, but good paint. I dig it. I dig it a lot. We also have the diving bell or bell sub. It's just a brown little sub. You know, you just get in it, lower down, look out the window. It's alright. Like, it's neat, but I don't really think I'll do anything with it. But it is good to have. There's also a fighter jet squadron with 3 identical fighter jets. I think Kaiju collectors can get a lot out of these jets. I have a bunch of those little SH Monster Arts vehicles displayed with my super articulated Kaiju, and I think these will go neatly with them. Their detail and paint isn't Monster Arts quality, but can we even call Monster Arts quality anymore? Can you tell I'm maybe a little salty about Monster Arts? I mean, yeah, they're all the same. They all got this little peg hole on the bottom for the stand, which I'll now show you. It's kind of similar to the wire stands that came with the little helicopters in the Monster Arts Godzilla Jr., which was actually one of the good Monster Arts. And this stand looks a little tacky, and you're thinking, oh, B3, that's just a nice, smooth, matte black stand. What's wrong with that? That's the bottom. The nice part is the bottom. That's the top. That's where you plug these guys in. These fell out and were loose in the package, but it's alright. I don't think it hurt them any. So you can see the ugly kind of molding on there. I mean, you probably could have got that on the bottom, right? I mean, it's not a big deal, but this figure was over $100. So, you know, it's a very expensive figure. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's unfortunate. It almost looks like there's supposed to be another piece. Doesn't it? Doesn't it look like there's supposed to be a cap or something on this? But there's not. And as you saw... Ah, crud, these puppies aren't going to stay in. No, there's... Oh no, those just fall straight out. Crap, and on both ends. Gorgo, why? Why, Gorgo? Why are you doing this to me? They got a good bend to them. They hold their shape and they're easy to move. Might need a better stand. Maybe I could get some, like, epoxy clay or something, stick them in and put the clay around it, and then the clay will harden. But then I can't get it back in the box like it's supposed to be. Then it's just kind of permanently like that. It might be worth it, though. That might be worth it to do a little mod. Because I kind of really do want to display these jets. Dang it! That actually upsets me. The stand is not gonna work. F. Let's see if it fits in the jets. The jets are perfect. Okay, that was to be expected, but it took a few hits for it to come off, being struck on the ground. So that's fine. They go in the jets fine. Let me try the other end. Yeah, they go in the jets fine, but then the stand itself... No. No. That's not happening. Those are gonna fall right out every time. So the stand is bogus. Damn it. The Jet Squadron with the bendy wire stands is the accessory that I was second most excited about. And I don't mean Baby Gorgo. There's still one more accessory. And luckily, it looks like it came out pretty damn well. And that accessory is Big Ben. Yes, Big Ben actually looks really nice. This nice metallic gold paint. You can see the big crack where Gorgo knocks it over in the film, and you can see that it's like scratched and cracked on the clocks, but not each clock is cracked the same. Like this one is almost completely fine, and then the others all have completely different scratches on them. I know you can't tell on camera, but trust me, that is the case. But you could use this as a nice together Big Ben. This would go great with any Godzilla figure or anything too. And you can also have it as Destroyed Big Ben. Admittedly, this part sticking up out of it is kind of ugly. It would probably been better if it had like clips that held it on, but I don't really mind that. Maybe that's just like the interior structure of Big Ben. You know, see, it's like, it's easy to hand wave. Continuity-wise, or whatever. Like if you're making a short film with this or something, like a little stop-motion film. Which will be hard to do with Gorgo because her articulation's so loose. I'm sorry. I paid a lot for this figure, guys. But this is a really cool accessory. The Big Bin, I think, came out great. Baby Gorgo came out great. I almost don't see the point of the glow-in-the-dark eyes. Alternate head. Why not just have one head that is glow-in-the-dark eyes? And even then, it's not a feature that I care about. The stand for the Jet Squadron is just shit. It doesn't, the base doesn't work. The base doesn't work. What else do you want me to say? And then the diving bell is fine. The diving bell's fine. It's never an accessory I cared about, even when I backed this project. But dang. Those jets would have been nice to display. I mean, I could easily mod that, but I shouldn't have to. Does that make sense? Anyways, now we're going to show Gorgo in size comparisons. Now, it says on Titanic Creations' website that Gorgo is 6 inches tall. So let's see how she compares with other 6-inch kaiju lines. First up, I'm going to show her with a US figure. I'm going to have it show a couple Japanese figures and then a couple US figures from other kaiju franchises. First up is the Playmates 2017 Skull Island Kong with Gorgo. I think that's fine. He's a little taller than Gorgo, and I know this is a younger Kong, but Gorgo wasn't the biggest kaiju ever, to be completely honest. I think this is okay. It's alright. I like that. Alright. Let's take Kong away. And how about the Guardian of the Universe, Gamera from Bandai Japan's Movie Monster series line. Gamera seems to have some pounds on Gorgo, but height-wise, they're pretty good. I like that. He's much wider, but he's a turtle. Lizards are typically slimmer than turtles, you know? I think that is a-okay. Now how about an Ultra Kaiju? This is a bit of an older one. It is the Ultraman Max Gomera, so it's a 6-inch one. Obviously, like, the Spark Doll size are going to be too small for her. But this is a 6-inch Ultra Kaiju. You know, that's not so bad either. Like, Gomera kind of... Once again, these vinyls are thicker than Gorgo, but height-wise, they're really not bad with her. She's looking Gomera in the eye, and I know he's got that kind of slumped neck, but she is looking him in the eye. So, yeah, you know, to be completely honest, I thought she'd be a little smaller for these guys. When I took her out of package, I was like, huh, she feels a little small. But I don't think it's that she's short, it's just that she's not super thick. But anyways, let's show her with the King of the Monsters himself. This is a Bandai Creations US figure. It is the 2004 Final Wars Godzilla. This is the one I use in G&G. He's a little taller than her. This one is, like, she's kind of looking down a little. I can raise her head. She's a little under him. But it's not like by a devastating amount. But she's noticeably smaller. Oops. Now I'm going to show her with a dinosaur, just because I like to show kaiju with dinosaurs. Now I know that she's a Dai Kaiju and she'll be too big for these, but this is a figure that I got and reviewed recently and I really honestly love it. It is the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Hammond Collection Concavinator. And I just want to show them together. Just so if you display dinosaurs and kaiju together like I do, that's just what it'll look like. Looks cool. And last but not least, this is kind of the figure that's going to make or break size comparisons. Now, if you follow my action figure review series, you know that I always say it doesn't matter how well a figure scales with other toy lines. What matters is how well it scales within its own line. So now I'm going to show her with a figure that I hinted at earlier. It's a really cool figure. It's probably been a while since you guys saw the weapon himself. It is the Titanic Creations Titanicus. And shit, they work pretty well. They work quite well together. She's a little taller than him, actually. Quite factually. Look at that. Yeah. She's a little taller than their flagship Kaiju. I mean, he is leaning forward, but he's not posable, so... Well, not at least in the torso. So she works. She works with Titanicus. She's got the big meaty head of a suit actor Kaiju, and he's got the small head of a comic book Kaiju. But they work together. Yeah, he's meatier, he's got a bigger, longer tail, but once again, she was designed like to be a suit for a practical special effect. Someone had to be inside her, wink, and that, you know, factored into design a lot. So did budget and things. And I'm sure budget factored into the design of Titanicus. But he was designed to be a figure and a comic book character. So they could kind of go all out with him. Like a suit actor with that tail? Oh, forget about it. With this big hunk of ice on their back, that sucker would have had to be hollow foam or something. Like, this would not be a practical suit. And yes, I know there is a Titanicus suit, but does it look like this? No. I've seen it many times. I follow Titanic Creations pretty religiously on social media, actually. But she scales well with the other Titanic Creations figure I have, which means she's a success size-wise. That's the only one she had to scale with, and she did. So what are my final thoughts on the Titanic Creations Gorgo figure? It's good, but it needs a lot of work. Mac McClintock and everyone at Titanic Creations, it is very, very clear to me that you have a passion for this. You have a passion for the art of action figures and of comic books. You have a passion for Kaiju. That, there's no doubt in my mind that that is true. No doubt. If you didn't, I don't think you'd be working this hard on someone like Gorgo. No offense, Gorgo, but you're not what many would call a popular Kaiju. There are things that make you stand out, but you're pretty basic, girl. Sorry. But giving us a super articulated Gorgo was a risk on their part. And I think it worked out for them. People were very receptive of this project. I was, as I mentioned, I was one of the first backers for this puppy. And I do really like her. She's probably going to be in my collection for the rest of my life. Honest to God. Honest to God. Because I really like this figure. But she's over $100. She's very expensive. Yeah, she sizes well with my other 6-inch scale Kaiju. Her articulation, the points, are good. The quality control on her, however, is not great. The wrists and ankles are far too tight, even after I heated them up. Normally that does the trick right away. It did not for her. That articulation on the toes is not it. No thanks. It's very poorly designed. Tail's great. Head, great. Not the feet. And she's just so loose in most places. They gave her a ton of accessories. I respect the shit out of that. So many accessories. The baby Gorgo was kind of a must. It's a good little accessory. I really like the big bin. I think it's super cool. That one's probably going on display somewhere. The glow-in-the-dark head seems kind of pointless to me. It almost seems like it would have been better to just give her glow-in-the-dark eyes. That being said, the paint is far better on the non-glow-in-the-dark eyes, and I don't just mean quality control-wise, even though the glow-in-the-dark one is cross-eyed, but I mean, like, they've got kind of a depth to them, but they are painted to make them look like they're shining anyway. The glow-in-the-dark head is just something I 100% do not need. If this head ever gets damaged for some reason, like an ear breaks off or something, which I don't think it will because it's a very sturdy feeling ear, then having that alternate head will be great if her head is damaged. But I kind of don't feel like that'll happen because, I mean, she stands incredibly well and she seems very durable for the most part. I really wish I could use the jet squadron. Like, I have her holding one of the jets here, but that's basically all you can do with it. Maybe put one in her mouth. Because the stand just doesn't work. Like, the bendy wires bend, and the jets go on them, but they don't go in the stand, so it's rendered pointless. And yeah, I could mod it relatively easily, but I shouldn't have to. Especially, I shouldn't have to for any figure that I paid for. But I especially shouldn't have to do it for a figure this expensive. The diving bell is fine. It's just an accessory that I never really cared about, even during the crowdfunding campaign. I just don't see myself ever really super using it for much. Maybe I'll take some pictures of her with it, but then that's like it. It's just going to go back in the box forever. But I really, really wish I could display these jets permanently like I have the helicopters from my Godzilla Jr. And her aftermarket prices are gonna skyrocket. I can almost guarantee you. Because if you're a huge kaiju fan and a really serious kaiju collector, you'll probably be very happy to have this Gorgo just because there's not really any other well-articulated, realistic-looking options for her. Period. Or I don't even know if there's any other figures of her in this scale. I've seen much larger figures of her, and I think Titanic Creations is going to make a much larger, more statue-esque figure of her, which will probably be magnificent. I mean, most of my complaints with her are with the articulation and the accessories, and I think their giant Gorgo is just going to be Gorgo, with little articulation, if not none. I think it's mostly a statue. So that'll probably be magnificent. In all honesty, because I love my Titanicus, and he only has 4 points. Truth. But she's really cool. I think they took a risk with her. They had a lot of passion. I can be a little forgiving, because this is a crowd-funded indie figure, really. Yeah, they had to officially license her, but this is an indie figure. At the end of the day. She is really cool. She's very cool. She has flaws. Some of them pretty big. But if you're a big collector, I think she's worth it. That being said, by the time this video is even up, I don't think she'll be available anymore. I checked their website right before making this. There was one left, and I think that was basically it. I follow them pretty religiously on social media, and I think that's pretty much what they've got. So that'll probably be gone, honestly, before I'm even done filming. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. But yeah, this is Gorgo. If you just really want a Gorgo to scale with your 6-inch kaiju, she is really the only way to go. And she is cool. I do not regret buying her. She was expensive as shit. But I do not regret buying her. And also give Titanic Creations a chance. If you don't have any of their figures, I do recommend their Titanicus. I have reviewed him, and I've also reviewed every single figure that you saw in size comparisons. So that is it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links down below. I'm actually writing some Kaiju stories that'll be on Amazon, so follow my author page. And we've got a lot of Kaiju content on this channel, on other channels. We post about Kaiju on social media. We love Kaiju and monsters and sci-fi and horror and stuff in general here. And we really like foreign movies too. That's it. Thank you once again. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.